What's up, card fighters, and welcome back to the Prime Vanguard channel. In today's video, I'll be showcasing you guys my take on Solrairon in the current meta of 2024 January. Now, before I hop into today's deck profile, as always, if you guys enjoy seeing content like this, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Do not forget to hit that notification bell so you're always up to date on my newest videos coming out. Now, Solrairon hasn't received any massive supports within the past 2 sets to make it better, but with more training and practice as well as playtesting, I put in a couple of new cards in there to help bring the deck up to speed with the current meta. It still needs a couple more boosters to make it a little bit better, but with more cards being revealed for Divine Z, as well as with more time and playtesting with the current sets we have now from set 12 and 13, I found a couple of cards that'll take this deck up to the next level. And with your guys' advice from the previous video on Solrairon that I made and all the training I've done for it, I'm really happy with the list that I've come out with and want to showcase you guys its success. Now, with that being said, we're going to head over to camera 2 and get this deck profile started. Alright, you guys, get this deck profile started off with, I am playing the Solrairon ride line for Solrairon. Now, Solrairon doesn't really allow for a lot of flexibility in his ride line. You have to play the grade 2 and the grade 1. They give you a free counter charge, 2 bodies on the board, as well as the grade 1 sets you up for the grade 3 and converts a card to your hand. No reason to change that whatsoever. Obviously, for the start of the show, 3 copies of Great Sage of Heavenly Lost Solrairon. Naturally, you're playing 3 copies of this. Persona riding is crazy, and Solrairon right now is actually in a pretty interesting spot. The deck has a lot of power going for it. With the new stuff, you got, more power, more consistency, 5 attacks. You just need to focus on setting up, make sure everything you need. For my next grade 3, we play 4 copies of Dependable Pierce Dragon. Now, this is our grade 3 Solrairon key support piece. It has the same effect as the grade 1 in our ride line. When you place it, you get to draw a card and put a normal unit from your hands to the top of the deck. And then when you reveal with Solrairon's first ability, you get 5k power to your board, and you're correct on whatever you declare. If it is a normal unit specifically, my bad, apologies, you are able to give this card 5,000 power, move it into the soul. Now, it's no secret that Solrairon does have a bit of a soul issue. The superior calling from the grade 2 and the grade 1 subtracts 2 cards from your soul. Thanks to cards like Dependable Pierce Dragon, we were able to recuperate our soul as well as keep a nice beat stick for our playstyle. The additional 5k buff to itself makes it a magic number, putting it past a 10k guard for your opponent, forcing him to drop a 15. It takes itself off the board and converts itself into a soul for other card effects that we can use with Solrairon and his own ability. Finally, for grade 3s, I'm playing 1 copy of Gradius Grottle. Moving on to grade 2s, I am playing 4 copies of Sagely Dragon Wisdom Claw Dragon. Without a doubt, Solrairon's best supporting piece, Wisdom Claw Dragon, is the reason why you're not playing any crazy combos for a 5th attack now. Wisdom Claw gets 5k power and you call it out from deck, turning into a nice magic number with Solrairon's continuous ability, and it also lets you check the top of your deck as well. You can put a card to the bottom or the top, and then depending on what you have there, you're able to counterblast 1 and soul charge 1 or superior call. That's pretty nice too. This first ability on the second skill sets up for the second ability on the second skill. Therefore, this is how you generate your 5 attacks. This is how you compress your deck a little bit more for triggers and things like that, and you get to make sure that you have everything set up for Solrairon. So whether you need this to be an offensive piece or another piece like the grade 1 or 3, you now have another card that lets you check the top card of your deck to make sure you hit the correct unit you need to activate the first ability for Solrairon. For my next grade 2, I am still playing 4 copies of Knights of Piercing Katawaya. Now, I know a lot of you guys in my last video did not like me playing this card, but honestly, for me, it's kind of like become a piece that I've had a hard time getting rid of, right? Because the substitutes is you play the Arrow Dragon, which is essentially a Soul Blast. It gets 5k in a draw, so it turns itself into a match number, which is not bad. You have Sadie, which is a Counterblast 1, 5k power in a draw, but she only gets her effect when she's called out via a card ability, so she only works when you literally call her off of Solrairon or Wisdom Claw, and then everything else just, it wasn't doing what it needed to do. Katawaya is great because you can still drop it in the early game and then start compressing your deck out for Wisdom Claws or Pierce Dragons, or like I said, Persona Ride, because Persona Ride is, you have to Persona Ride every single turn in this deck after your first grade 3. Otherwise, you're going to lose. Like, the deck needs that extra 10k push to make it really scary. It just helps you dig for other key pieces in your grade 2 or higher lineup, which are super important. It clears itself off of the board prior to like Solrairon using via its card effects with proper setup with cards like Dependable Pierce Dragon in itself. And then it it's been so beneficial. It's really hard to like replace this card. I know some people wanted me to try it out with like Turner. I didn't feel the need for that because despite the deck soul issues, I've never been in a situation where I had to rely on that card for any particular reason, but I did make another key change to the deck to make it better. But nonetheless, I've upped Katawaya because of the main deck 50 card rule, so I'm now maxing out all the copies of the cards that I'm able to that benefit my strategy. For my next grade 2, I am still playing 4 copies of Drilling Angel. Another battle phase extender. This is like still a key piece for the deck. You need the ability to help get a soul charge during the main phase. That's actually beneficial for Solrairon. On top of that, if you call it out during the battle phase, this is one of the few cards that can get you another booster or another attacker, depending on how you've manipulated the deck via other card effects. And then finally, for my next grade 2, I am now playing 2 copies of Sage of Robust Stogron. While we do have a copy of Stogron in the Soul, I do think it is important to have countercharge in this deck. Your Claw takes up a counterblast, Solrairon takes up a counterblast, and so does the grade 1 support. So therefore, it is important to have a form of countercharge when you need it, at least in my personal opinion. And because we play Drilling Angel, if we retire this earlier, we have a chance of getting another target out via this card effect, which means we have another attacker that we can use that will have an effect going into next turn. That's it for grade 2s. Nothing too crazy has changed since then. So now for my grade 1 units, I'll be showcasing the first one, the new edition, which is 2 copies of Yellow Jeweled Beast Topaz. Now this is a new edition for Solrairon, so I will read its effect. It has the following. Auto, when this unit is placed on Rearguard Circle or put on Guardian Circle, cost, put a total of 2 cards from your soul or drop that were in the Ride deck into the Ride deck face up, and perform either or the following of the ability depending on the circle this unit is on. Rearguard Circle, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 unit card with a grade less than or equal to your Vanguard from among them, call it to Rearguard Circle and shuffle the deck. If it is not your main phase, rest that unit called via this card ability. Guardian Circle, this unit gets plus 50k shield until the end of that battle. Topaz has been fantastic. Solrairon's going to use up all of its soul anyway. You're either going to lose out the grade 2 or the grade 1 or Persona Ride, and then obviously Soul Blast that out or Soul Blast the grade 0 for your other card effects. Topaz being able to, take advantage of the Ride deck cards and convert into another body into the board is incredible. It increases your chances of just killing like one of your key units to help set up like your Dependable Pierce or your Wisdom Claw to help get those effects going, or your Katawayas if you want to compress some more. It also can help you get like any piece that you need by just giving your deck a little bit more compression, which is extremely helpful because we want to compress out those normal units and then get those triggers and then start setting up our board for Solrairon's effect. An incredibly free card, the cat really does help take this deck to the next level. For my next grade 1, I am playing 2 copies of Sage of Elixir Illyrion. For the exact same reason I played 2 copies of Stogron, Angel can target Illyrion after you call over it or it gets retired and get another copy, and this card has the same effect as the Pierce and the Wisdom Claw to help set up for Solrairon's ability so that we don't whiff and we get the 5k buff to our entire board. For my next grade 1, I'm playing 4 copies of Divine Sister Daquoise. One of the most underrated pieces of support that we got, this is Solrairon's version of Solda Sakab, the Dragon Tree Wretch support card. The 5k power from this card comes up a lot, as well as the extra draw. Now, does kind of suck that we don't have that extra draw early, but I already discussed that this is better. You value the power, it makes your numbers better, it makes your columns bigger, and then even if you don't get the extra early draw from via this card effect, at least you have a booster that can be helpful in certain situations, or an attacker as well to become a higher number. And the best part about this card is the fact that it doesn't care about placement, so therefore if you have it in the front row and you want to call something to the back, that works too. It does happen sometimes, but the extra draw from this and the additional power makes this card incredible. For my next grade 1, I've got 4 normal unit Sentinels. Now, you have to play normal unit Sentinels because Solrairon will not get its effect if you reveal an order, hence the reason why I don't play 1 copy of Elementaria. Finally, for triggers, the trigger lineup has not changed at all. I'm actually very comfortable with this. I am playing 8 critical for the effect crit, which is important. I'll get to in a minute. 1 copy of the Keter PG, 3 front triggers, and then to wrap it all off, I'm playing 4 generic heals. Now, the most important thing here is the effect crits. You will be using these to attack sometimes, I'm telling you that now. You won't have like a Pierce Dragon available to you, or you don't want to spend the CB from this to Soul Charge. So the best thing to do sometimes is once you get Solrairon off, you'll use his effect, give 5k to your board, this will become a 9k booster with Katawaya, swing for 24, move this into the Soul, Soul Blast it out, get Katawaya off, compress your deck a little bit more for a key piece and get it out the way so that you can call something new with Solrairon. That does happen sometimes when you're really trying to be aggro, and in this deck you are. Hence the reason why we've got nothing's changed. I don't feel like draw triggers are good for Solrairon right now. I'm going to be honest here. I feel like this deck needs as many ways to push your opponent as possible. You already have battle phase stacking, 5 attacks. You have more power kicking in. You've got some free superior calling off of this, which turns this on early now. Like, there's so much you can do now with Solrairon if done correctly. And I just feel like this deck needs to push as best as it can. And it's also a little bit fragile too, because, you know, the hand size is not the largest sometimes, so therefore you just stick with the generic heals. I don't feel like playing around with them. The meta is, you know, changing right now because of the new lyrical set, and Divine Z as well as the previous set to that are going to make it's going to have a huge effect on the game. But this is my current take on Solrairon right now for January 2024, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Tell me your thoughts on what you're doing with Solrairon, any more changes I can make. I really did take your suggestion about the cat and the Stogrons, and with the new 50 card deck rule, I was able to increase both of these and put both of them in here to make it even better. But with that being said, I am your host, Prime Vanguard, and I'll catch you later. Peace.